Hey, it's me, your host, J.Vargas. So today I will be doing my first podcast. And yes, I'm a bit nervous, but it's okay to be nervous. But I also have someone special on this show with me today, and it's a very good friend of mine, Luis Fernandez. We go all the way back to like young ages, high school time. And Luis is a great friend of mine. I go to him for a lot of situations. He gives me a lot of great advice. He comes to me for stuff too, and I give him great advice also. We're there for each other a lot, and this is a reason why I chose him to be part of this show today, because the title is The Pill I Had to Swallow. And I believe that me and Lewis have both experienced some issues in our life and relationships that have been toxic. So Lewis, come on, let's go talk.
First of all, can I just say that was an amazing entrance? I feel so special.
All right,
Nah,
don't
that
do
I
that, please.
yes. No, no. But that on a serious note, I really appreciate you having me here today. We do go way back for the people in the audience. We do have some stories that probably we shouldn't say on the air, but they're memories that we're gonna keep forever. You know.
Yes, of course. Memories and lessons learned, and what we could put out there that we learned from them for other people that are listening. So anyway, so tell me about toxic relationship you was in. No
What
names,
toxic?
remember. Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
by the
no.
way, one thing I want to put out also is somebody called me out on it as a joke. They said, "Hey, you put no names involved in your intro, but you put your names on the title." It's my podcast. That's why my name's on the title, and my name's the only one, and then my guests allowed their names to be on it. So
Yes.
yeah. Anyways, go.
There we go. Okay, so yeah. So no names, obviously. Toxic relationships, this is constant. This is I've kind of like backed myself off of relationships for a little while because of I feel like certain females nowadays are more like men than they are women. If that
Yeah,
makes any sense.
of course. Yeah.
I I got Can I curse? Are we allowed to curse? This is
Yeah,
adult
it's my
rated.
podcast.
Okay, I
Those are
got
my rules. I
fucked.
make the rules here.
I got fucked last week and left like if I was a slut. She came over here at 11 p.m., 1 hour away from the morning time,
After 10
used
o'clock
me,
is booty call hour. You know
used
that,
me
right?
for, yeah, exactly. Used me for dick and left. Bro, I stood there hugging my blanket like if I was some kind of shamed bitch. You know what that feels like? As a man, you know what that feels like? Bro, that was embarrassing. I felt like I was used. She even left some money on the counter. Now I'm
She
a
left money on
prostitute.
your counter. Now tell me this is a joke, please.
No, I swear to everything I love. She left me $5. She's like, get some milk. Why are you laughing? This is serious.
It's inflations. Hey, what's going on?
Well, yeah.
Everything's high
It,
prices
it didn't
now.
even cover my milk because I get lactate. It's just $7 per gallon. Jesus,
God damn, man. I'm sorry. I'm
bro,
sorry.
this is what I go through now.
This is what you go through now.
I'm telling you, this is the worst.
No, it's crazy because it's like, and it's like I agree with you what you say there. Like, women are the men now, and I think it's what's ruining it. Also, it's both men and women, honestly. But I think it's social media. It's the opportunities that it's giving both men and women. But I feel like
Exactly.
women are the ones taking advantage of it because from what I'm seeing, it's like, hey, Joe Schmo, it's not picking me up in a Bentley, but I could have X, Y, and Z pick me up in a Bentley, and guess what? He's gonna pay for my dinner tonight. So if you can't give me that, I'm gonna go to that person now. And it's like in reality, like is that what's making them happy? Like are they happy about that? I don't think so because you're still single. You're
But
still
either way, sorry to cut you. Either way, like if it's making them unhappy or not, I'm actually proud of them. Like women are making the initiative that men used to make. You know how men used to fuck around with feelings and shit like that? Now women are doing that. Now they're controlling the narrative of certain situations.
and they are, and
And
it's crazy because
exactly.
so one thing I saw, like back to like the toxic relationship was like I feel like women are very vocal, but in a way that it's like my last issue, like the last person I dealt with, I met her from my cousin. They worked in the airline industry together. And I was like, oh my gosh, your coworker is beautiful, blasey blasey. And I hit her up and slid to her DMs, ended up hanging out, and things got serious pretty quick, honestly. We ended up going away together somewhere. We ended up going to, she ended up meeting friends of mine. And the crazy part is she was different. I think that's why I was like very into her, because she was very different than what I usually date. And like when one of my good friends, that was the best man to his wedding, when he met her, he was like, dude, I wasn't expecting that. Like straight Dominican, like speak Spanish more than English. Like when she first spoke to me Spanish, I was like, damn, oh, mommy, you know.
Oof.
And
That just gave me goosebumps.
and that's the most Spanish you'll hear from me, because
That
I'm
ass.
Puerto Rican and
The only Puerto
I
Rican.
don't speak Spanish. But it was
Uh,
crazy because like in the beginning, everything was great, honeymoon stage, but then like red flags started to just come, and that's when it leads to, this is why it becomes to unprescribed, because it's like a person, and unfortunately I have to bring this topic up, a person that's on drugs, they
mhm.
know they shouldn't be on it. So what do they do? What do you always hear? A person that's like on drugs, oh, I'm gonna end soon, I'm gonna stop this soon, don't
Exactly.
worry. But guess what? They're going for the unprescribed stuff. And guess what? When I was in that situationship with that person, it was like I kept telling myself every night, like, I gotta end this. I have to find a way. But I was so into her, and I think it was because, like I said before, like she was different. Everybody knows me as, hey, white girl, blonde hair, blue eyed girl, or Middle Eastern girl.
Hmm.
That's what they know
Then
me as. Like, and when they saw me with this girl, everybody was like, whoa, like, where did you find this person at? And when I spoke to my cousin about it, my cousin, she's always posting with these bad girls. And I'm always like, yo, she's cute. And my cousin's like, nah, she's not for you. But this one, when she was like, go for it. She's a good woman, and she was happy about it when she found out like we were like dating and stuff. But like I said, it got toxic. And the first flag I saw, and I ignored it, was we were away and we were sitting down in a restaurant, and I dropped her drink on her. And she got so upset. And I never seen someone get so upset of a drink dropped. And it wasn't even like dropped on her, it went on her phone and on her purse. And I was like, she just was so upset. And the waiter comes and he's like, oh, what happened? And the first thing she said was, este trapo pendejo. And I was like, whoa,
whoa.
you just called me a dumbass, like to someone you don't know at a restaurant. And I was like in shock. Like I was like, so I stood quiet. I paid the bill. We left. And she's like, oh, why are you quiet? Why are you upset? And I'm like, there was just no need for that. So she tries to be all lovey dovey and like tries to be nice in the car to give me a hug and a kiss. I'm like, nah, like right now I just need to think.
You weren't in the mood,
Yeah.
basically.
So because I didn't entertain her and give it her way, that's it. The night was over. And we were supposed to go bar hopping, which we did go bar hopping after that. But, and then, after like bar hopping, like 20, 30 minutes, I let it go. And I go to give her a hug, to try to be, cute, we're away together somewhere. And what she's like pushes me away. And I'm like, what? She goes, oh, now you want to talk to me. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're mad at me now because I was upset because of what you did, but
And the
I'm
thing
wrong.
too, and the thing too, some women don't understand is that we might be quiet, we might be silent, but what we're doing is if we're upset about something, we're dealing with it inside our own heads so that we can fix ourselves and then get back to normal. And then when
Yep.
we
And it's
try
true.
to like we brush it off, all right, whatever, all right, let me be lovey dovey with my girl again, and you go to be lovey dovey, and then now she starts giving you an attitude that just brings on more of a problem. I just cleared the issue we
Exactly.
had before, and now you want to bring on another issue.
Exactly. So then we go back to the Airbnb and we walk in and she goes straight to the balcony and sits down. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to shower. I get out the shower and she's still in the balcony. So I go out and talk to her. I'm like, hey, and, try to give her a kiss. And she's like very cold about it. So I was like, all right, screw this. I'm going to sleep. Like, I'm not going to entertain you. So that was like the first flag. And I just let it go. So I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to ruin my vacation wherever we're at because you're upset because I'm not entertaining you.
Hmm.
Anyways, there was a lot of red flags in that. There was more like, down the road, she just got very disrespectful. It was just very like name calling me, talking down to me. hanging up on me, blocking me, deleting me on social media. But then what made it worse, and to be honest, was when I started doing it back to her. And
Mm-hmm.
I did it back to her was because I was like, I wanted her to taste what she was doing. And she didn't like it. And I would tell her, I'm like, don't do what you don't like to be done to you.
Exactly.
And she knew she had issues because she told me, oh, my last relationship, my ex would tell me, your attitude sucks, the way you handle things. So, like, you already know you have an issue. And what are you doing for it? Nothing.
Exactly. Not even trying to fix it.
You're not trying to. So, you already know you're the issue. So, every time we would get into like an argument or disagreement, her mindset was, I'd say, I gotta go, I gotta leave. Like, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you just can't always leave from your problems. You gotta fix your problems. Like, and she'd be like, no, this is not gonna go. I just need to focus on myself. So, it just kept on like it got to the point that like I was like, and people know me, like, once I get disrespected, I'm always like, all right, goodbye. Not talking to you again. Like, I'm not gonna deal with that. But it was different. And this is why I say this is the title, The Pill I Had to Swallow, because I let her do it. I didn't stop it. That's why I gotta swallow the pill. I gotta blame
Yeah.
myself for it. There's no one else to blame. I can't sit here and blame everything on her and tell her you
Because you
fucked
could have
up.
addressed the situation sooner and
I
then
could have
try
just
to fix
addressed
it.
it and just
Yeah.
left and just be like, yo, I'm out the door. Goodbye. Like what I've done to the past. And I remember
But the
talking to you
problem why you
about it.
didn't do it, yeah, the problem why
And
you
I
didn't
remember
do it too is
talking
because
to
you
you about it.
care.
That was the thing. I remember, and you
Hmm.
told me, and you brought up someone else that I've dealt with, and you told me, and you said, well, remember when you did this to this person, when she was like treating you like kind of like shady, and you were just like, all right, I'm entertaining you. And then guess what? She came back to you. You're like, you got
Hmm.
to do that to her. But I liked her a lot. Like I said, like she was different. Is, like, and I always say, like, what's going to attract you is someone that's different than what you're usually looking for. And that's what it was. She was very different. And it's crazy because like I sit down and I think like, yo, like I'm always going for women that are very ambitious, like great careers, great
Hmm.
families. And
Yep.
like, yeah, she had to me, like it was an okay job, airline industry. Not gonna say what she was doing, not gonna say how much she was making, but like I'm used to dating women that like I've had nurses, social workers, doctors, um, girls that work in the hospital industry, with great careers that come from great families that were like very supportive.
Yep.
And there was nothing with this background. So like my thing is like, what are you bringing me to the table? And there was nothing she was bringing me besides stress and drama. And it just got to the point that I was like, holy fuck, like this is gonna go nowhere.
And that
And
usually
she
stems
knew it.
from past relationships. So she
Thank
had something
you.
underlying from her past that she wasn't letting go of, and
Thank
she
you.
tried to bring it into the relationship currently with you, and that's where it went south.
Yeah, you're right. And exactly, like whatever I always tell people, don't bring your past relationship issues to the table of what you're dealing with now. Because guess what?
Hmm.
If me and you are dating and my ex did something to me, she did it to me. You didn't do it to me. So why am I gonna take it out on
Exactly.
you?
Exactly.
I did nothing to you. So, I mean, you did nothing to me for I could be treated. And like I think I was good to this person. I would pick her up at work. I would take her to work. I would, always take care of her. Like in a way that's like what a man does.
Hmm.
But I think, and I one point I told her, I said, I think you like men that treat you like crap
Yep.
because you're telling me your ex treated you like crap. You're telling me your ex unfortunately cheated on you, and but you're still with him for like 3 or 4
And
years.
some people like that. Some people like that the
Mm.
being mistreated part. There are certain women that actually admitted to, I need a man to, put me in my place. Da da
They
da
like
da.
to
Da.
chase. They like to do the chase.
Yeah, but why?
They
What
like
happened
that.
to the women that want honesty, loyalty, that want someone to care for them?
They're out
And
there, but they're hard to find. They're not in New York City. I tell you that.
nah, there are in New York City because there's this one girl I have a crush on.
What's her name? J. Vargas.
I would love her forever.
Her name's J. Vargas.
I mean, we already know where we go.
Nowhere. I'm gonna friend zone you right now, right?
You think you can? You ain't getting rid of me.
So yeah, so it got to a point. And I remember one day I called her And it was to the point that I would call her, she wouldn't pick up. And like I remember like we would have issues and like I would talk to her and I'd be like, hey, I gotta talk to you about something. And she'd be like, what's up? You know, and I would talk and the
Like
first
if
thing
you
I'm
were a burden, bro. Like if you were
exact
a
thank
burden,
you.
that's
There
not
it was.
okay.
There you go. There you fucking go.
That's
So
not
like and you know
okay.
what sucks? I would tell the fucking excuse my language, I'm sorry, ladies. I would tell the girl like, hey, don't be upset, don't hang up the phone. And I shouldn't be saying that to you. That just
Like
shows you
yeah,
how
that's
worried I was to open up to you about something. And she would listen to me. And like, once I said something, she ain't like, shut up, click, fuck you, click. Oh, you're annoying, click. Here you come with your nonsense again. Don't start this bullshit again. You know, it's too early for this shit. And I'm like, yo, like, come on. Like,
it
so
seems to me like she was just trying to get a response out of you. She was
yeah,
treating you a certain way to see the way you would react on certain things, and really that's not okay.
exactly. But
In
then
a relationship, somebody, uh-huh.
when I reacted, I was the bad person. So, um, we went away again somewhere and, she went back home and I remember she was at a friend's house and it was a female friend. I know that for sure. So we would I remember I called her and I would be like, hey, can you just text me? You know, I haven't spoke to you all day, bossy bossy. And it was bothering me because I'm like, yo, like when you were with me away, you were on your phone. Like now that, you're with people you don't know me. And that annoys me so much. So she did that. So then she got like so upset at me. She hung up the phone and that's it. We didn't talk for the day. So I was upset and I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm upset. Like I can't do this. Like this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to beg you to talk to me. I was like, blah, blah, blah. So she didn't talk to me. And, we spoke for the night. And then the next day, the Dominican Republic got hit by a hurricane. So I hit her up and I left her a voice message. And I was like, hey, I just want you to know that I hope your family's doing okay, blah, blah, blah. And nothing. So the weekend comes, well, I let a week pass and I hit her up again and then we spoke. And things were kind of up and down. So that Friday, no, it wasn't a Friday, it was a Thursday. That Thursday, I picked her up from work and she sat in the car. And the first thing I asked her was, what are you getting out of this? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, what are you getting out of this? Like, what is it that you're getting out of treating me like this? Like, I'm stressed out. I'm hurt. I'm bothered. What is it that you're doing? Like, what is it that you're getting out of this? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, I need an answer. I need peace. That's gonna put me at peace. I need a legitimate answer. So she was just like, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just the way I handle things. Like, I know I gotta fix myself, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, like, you've said that in the past, but you're still doing it. And I told her shit, I was like, I think you need therapy. I think the people you're talking to are not telling you what you need to hear. They're telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Yep.
And
And there are people like that.
she's still quiet. And I remember, well, you know what? I'm going to stop it there because I'm going to backtrack to like a time that we got into an argument. And it was to the point that I was so upset. And the one thing I brought up to her was, I don't know how you were raised in your family to treat a man, but it is the way you were raised. It's wrong. And she brought up to me was, well, I'm sorry I wasn't raised with a great family like yours. And I said, my family's not great, but you know what? My mom and my dad raised me how to treat a man and a woman. They told they raised my sisters. Um, this is how you treat your husband, this is how you treat your man. And they told me also this is how you treat your woman, this is how you treat your wife, your girlfriends. This is how it should be done. And, yeah, don't take shit from anybody. And I remember I told her, I was like, is this how your mom raised you to treat a man? Like, is this how and then she's like, don't ever talk about my mom. I was like, I'm not talking about your mom. I'm asking you, this is how your mom raised you. It's a difference right there. And she got so offended. So fast forward to what I was saying, like we're in the car and, she's like, oh, this is the way, blasey, blasey. So we go by and she's like, let's go to your house tonight. Tomorrow, can you take me to work? I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. So I found it weird, like we're driving home to my place and she's on her phone, but this time the phone was turned, like where I
Like
can
if she's
see.
hiding something.
Yeah. So I'm like, kind of find it weird because I'm like, she's usually always open with the phone. So I I go by and I'm like, I call her out on it. I'm like, why you have your phone? She's like, because you're very nosy and you don't need to be looking through, like, you don't need to be seeing my phone. I'm like, okay. So we get home and, we're talking. We get food. We go back to my place. We're chilling. And, we're talking and, we have a good time watching a movie, fall asleep on the couch. And we start talking again. And like, I asked her, I'm like, I just want you to be honest with me. And she's like, what's up? I said, is there anyone else? And she's like, why you ask me that? I said, because the way you're acting, it's signs. Like, that you're giving me signs that you are talking to someone else.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I'm like, you sure? I was like, be honest with me, because maybe we could just talk about it, we could try to find a finding, like a middle to it. She's like, no. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we wake up the next morning and, get ready to take her to work. And we go to Walgreens. She needed Vaseline because, her lips are chappy. And I was like,
And a
stay in the
plan
car.
B.
I'll get it for you. What?
And a plan B.
Anyways, so we go to not to, we go to Walgreens and I give her the Vaseline and we're laughing. So her phone's like in the middle, like where the cup holder is at.
Hmm.
And I look over and it's open and I see a guy's name. So at that point, I just grabbed the phone and I'm like, oh, who's this? And they're sending pictures to each other and she's like, good morning. Sorry, I fell asleep last night when I got home. But you weren't home last night. You were at my place.
Caught
Yeah.
him.
So I looked at her and I'm like, oh, who's this? And she's like, what are you talking about? And she sees and she grabs the phone. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, who is that? She's like, oh, it's my friend. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, why is he sending you pictures of himself in uniform? And then she's like, oh, he's just sending me pictures. And I'm like, I don't send my female friends pictures and of myself in uniform. And this is like a funny Snapchat or something. And that's to be like a really close female of mine. I don't even send my sister Snapchats of me in uniform. But so we go and she's like, oh, it's just a friend. Don't worry about it. I don't know why you're getting so like why you're assuming things. I'm like, okay, so open up the phone. I'm like, why are you telling me good night? Like I don't say that to my female friend. I just be like, hit him up the next night, yo, what's up? Or continue the conversation.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, because I fell asleep. And I'm like, but you told me you got home though at your place, And she's like, oh, because he doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, so open up the phone. And she's like, no, you don't need to look through my phone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, if it's a friend, you will open up the phone, right? Like, you're not hiding anything, right? So, you know what? Make me look dumb right now. Make me look dumb. And then she's like, no. So I'm like, all right, get out my car. And she just looks at me like I did something crazy. She's like, are you serious? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, get out my car. She's like, no, I'm not getting out your car. I'm like, yes, you are. I'm like, you're getting out my car. I'm not driving you to work. And she's like, I can't believe this, blah, blah, blah. It's just a friend. And she's like literally yelling at me that it's a friend. So I'm like, so open up the phone and show me. Because like I knew all the guys that she has very close guy friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I knew all of them. And she never had that one name. And I told her, I was like, you never told me about this guy. Because I never heard his name. She's like, oh, because you don't need to know everything about my life, blah, blah, blah. You
What the?
see,
First of all, that doesn't make any sense. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you need to know how I breathe, how I sleep, that doesn't make any sense when people say shit like that. Like you don't need to know everything in my life. See, I don't. You're right. I don't need to know. But when you hide stuff and you make shit seem like it's not supposed to be, that's when I question what we have, if it's real or not. You see what I'm saying?
thank you.
So that's
Thank you.
not okay. That is
Yeah.
definitely not okay.
So she gets out the car and I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, you're really gonna walk away because of this one guy? She goes, no, I'm walking away because you're a jealousy person and look how you're acting. I said, I'm a jealousy person. Okay, cool. So she walks out the car and I drive off. And I'm upset at this point. And I call her and I'm like, I can't believe you. I trusted you so much, and this is what you do to me behind my back. She hangs up the phone. Then she calls me. She's like, can you please take me to work? So I'm like, no, I'm not taking you to work. And she's like, please, Jay, take me to work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play. In my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm playing mind games. Like that's it. Like, I'm gonna act like I'm taking her to work, but I'm gonna see that phone. So I pick her up like 3 blocks away, and I'm like, let me see your phone. So I drive off and I go on the highway, and she's like, no, you're not gonna see my phone. Get over it already. Blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get off the highway. I'm like, I'm not gonna see your phone. Like we get into this big argument, and like literally, like this girl was like yelling, and I'm sure people probably heard her outside the car. You know, she's like yelling at me, going crazy, and I'm like, whoa, like I'm like, look how you're getting over a stranger. So she gets out. So I get out the car. I'm definitely not taking you to work now. Like I'm definitely not. I don't care if you start in 20 minutes. At that point, she started working 20 minutes, and literally her ride was like an hour and a half to work by train. I didn't care because why should I care if you didn't care about my feelings?
Basically.
So she gets out the car. She leaves. We don't. I call a couple of times during the day. She'll pick up. So me, like anybody else would do, they do their investigation, and I found out who the person was. And I hit him up, and I messaged him, and I said, "Hey, does my son like I'm a crazy insecure person, but I just need to, I have a question to ask." He goes, "What? Do you know this person?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do know her." I said, "Oh, here it goes." And she goes to me. I mean, he goes to me. I said, "I'm her man." He's like, "Well, she told me she's single." I said, "Well, she's not single." And he goes, "Well, I believe her." I said, "Dude, how do you believe this girl if you just started talking to her a couple of days ago? You haven't even met her, from what I know."
Mm-hmm.
So that just says how dumb he was. So we go, and I'm like, "Listen, dude," I'm like, I blew her spot up. I told this guy everything about her, whether it was good or bad. Like whether it makes me look good or bad. I don't care because she didn't care about my feelings at the time. Why should I care about hers? So we go, and he hits her up, and it's like, who's this person? And from what she told me was like, he was like, I can't do it. I can't. This is already a sign. Like, I'm not going to do this, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, guess who was the bad person in her eyes? Me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how am I the bad person? You contacted him. I said, what was I supposed to do? let it go? Let it act like it's nothing? Me just be happy and move on with life? Like, act like this was nothing to me? Or you told them everything about me, this and it. And so I said, you need to stop right now. I said, if you was loyal and faithful, none of this would have happened. You understand that, right? And she goes, well, I'm single. I said, oh, now you're single. She goes, we were never in a relationship. I said, oh, now because you're trying to look like the good person now. I was like, so this is a situationship we got going on right now. She's like, we were never together. I was like, so we were never together. If you were single, why were you hiding this from me then? And like, that's the way I saw it as. I was like, you shouldn't have to be hiding this. If you're single, you should be open to me about, hey, I'm on Bumble. That's how they met, was on Bumble, he told me. And she told me that too. And I was like, wait a minute. And she's like, oh, we didn't talk for a week. I'm like, so just because we didn't talk for a week, you go on Bumble? Like, that's what you do? And look for other
That's
guys?
that just goes to show that women nowadays are worse than men.
And my thing was like, you could go on Bumble. And the thing is with Bumble, the women message the guy first. So you could go on Bumble, swipe right for these guys,
Wait, I'm
message
sorry,
them,
what?
swipe right for these guys.
No, no, what's the app called? It's
Bumble,
for like scientific reasons.
Bumble.
Bumble.
So you could go on Bumble, swipe right, and the woman has to message these guys first. So you're online messaging these other guys, but you can't message me. You can't reply back to my messages. You can't return my phone calls. Because what? Because why? I never got the answer, you know? And we left it as that. That was the last time I spoke to her. I told her, I wish you the best in life. I hope you find the help that you need. I hope you find the peace that you
Hope you
want.
find Jesus.
She did find Jesus,
Not you,
but
Jesus.
I
Jesus Christ.
guess, I guess it wasn't. I guess I wasn't the Jesus that she found that she needed. But so yeah, so we went, and we left it like that. I haven't spoken to her since then. Um, I do wish her the best. I am not holding any grudges against her. I don't wish nothing bad upon her. I think deep inside, honestly, she's an amazing person. She's just is coping with things the wrong way, and she's taking it on the wrong people. And I hope one day she figure out what she really wants in life. So yeah, so this is what the pill I had to swallow because I let this happen. I can't blame her. I can't blame you. I can't blame my mother, her mother. I can't. I have to blame myself because I could have put an end to this when I got the first red flag
Yeah.
or the second red flag. Like this was like fucking a bunch of flags. Like it was like to a point that I wasn't seeing red flags anymore. I was seeing the hurricane flags, and like that's how crazy it was getting. And I'm the type of person like when I meet someone, I'm very strong in the beginning. Like I have a brick wall in front of me. I'm like fucking Donald Trump. Like I put this brick wall up. I built this shit. And she came down like freaking Nancy Pelosi and Biden administration. Like, oh no, we're gonna knock this wall down, and then we're gonna let these people cross over to your heart and destroy it, and for free. so, so I was like, yo. So then I'm like thinking like, yo, I need to do like freaking Governor DeSantis or Governor Abbott and like put them on a plane and send them on a bus, send them to Martha's Vineyard. Like, get out of here. I don't want to see you anymore.
This message is brought to you by politics.
This message is paid by
Man.
the J.Vargas
The
administration.
paid sponsorship.
But like that's like how like it was. So like this is the pill I had to swallow. Back to it. It's like I gotta do it. I gotta take my own pill and swallow it because I let it happen. Like I said, I
Yeah.
could have stopped it, and I came to you about it. You told me this is what you need to do. I didn't listen to you.
Well, who really listens to anyone honestly nowadays?
Yeah, it's
The
true. It's
advice is
true.
there. We believe the advice, but because our own hearts won't allow it, we don't go forth with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. So I
Mm.
went and like I even like called my cousin, like not the one that she works with, another cousin that lives in Yonkers, and like we're like very close. And it's funny because we're like probably like 7, 8 years apart, but this cousin of mine is so mature. Like I'm like, whoa, like, and like when I talk to her, it's like I'm talking to like a woman my age. Like she's like, it's crazy, and the advice she gives is amazing. And I remember when I called her about it, like she was like, it's like she was hurt for it. I was like, what the fuck? Like how you hurt? Like I should be the one hurt. And I thank her, because she was there for me from day one, listening to it, about what was going on and giving me that advice and like, coping with me and, and such. But like that was the good part. The bad part was there were certain individuals that I called. A lot of them were guys. And I'd be like, yo, do you know what? Fuck that girl, this and this and this. You don't need that shit, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I
You
just need
don't
you to cope with me. Like,
exactly. You need someone to understand it from your perspective.
yeah. And that's the problem. And like a message I want to put out there is like, especially to men, especially to my men out there, like, yo, we got feelings. We have hearts. We got feelings. Like, we know it hurts. Things hurt us at times. And I think that's the problem. Is like women don't understand that men have feelings also. Like
Hmm.
I went on. I've dated amazing women in my life. My last ex-girlfriend. You actually met her. You picked me up from the hospital with her when I had
Yes,
surgery. That was a
amazing human
great
being.
yeah, amazing. And one thing I learned a lot from that relationship, and I remember it was she would tell me, you need to compromise, listen to me. And that's one thing I learned from that. And I remember telling this previous person, the Dominican airline girl, was, you're not compromising, you're not listening to me. And I told her, I said, listen, I'm gonna give you an example. I had a great woman, but because I didn't listen and compromise, she walked out of my life. And I didn't realize at the moment, but I realized months later. And I got hurt because she didn't want me to know again. She was like, nope, you're done, and stuff. And she was just like that's it. Like I'm done. Like I'm done with you. You're done with me. Like it is what it is. And I was hurt, because she didn't want to take me back. And, she moved to Virginia. She's doing her own thing. I hope she's doing great right now. And I remember telling her that, and she's like, "Well, why don't you go back with her?" I'm like, "That's like I'm telling you about something that I learned. That the way you're doing what I did to her, And that why I'm telling you is because I learned from that experience. But
But
she
you
didn't
know
want to
why
hear it.
women? But you know why women will never understand it from our perspective?
Why?
Because at the end of the day, the women are the prize. So a woman can leave you now, speak to 20 different other men, find who they want to be with for the time being, and if things don't work out, walk away and do the same
Exactly.
process over. But if it's
Exactly.
a man is
Amen.
not as easily finding somebody, coping with them, getting to know them, understanding them, and then for them to just walk out the door. This is why the success rate in relationships has gone to shit.
It's crazy. It's gone down so much.
Women will, when they feel like a man is not showing them attention, not giving them the time they need, not focusing any energy on them. But on the man's perspective, he's working, he's busting his ass, he's paying bills, he's making sure his girl's happy. But because the woman feels like she's not getting the attention she deserves, she lacks that from her man, she goes finds it somewhere else
That's gonna
and
give it to
ruins
her.
a whole relationship because she feels like her man's not showing her any affection or any energy, and in reality, the man is busting his ass for her, for their future, for their kids, for their life. You know what I'm saying?
You're right, and it's I see it. I see it. And guess what? It does happen the other way around too, also. But
Yeah,
I
of
feel like
course.
more it's that like there are amazing women out there. Like a couple of people I see, probably women that I know that are married. Like they're very loyal to their men. They're very happy in their relationships. A couple of guys I know that are married. Like I see it the way when I go visit them, like how the way their wives are. And I'm like, wow, that's an amazing wife you got. Like that's a ride or die and such. But
And there's not
it's
many women out there like that anymore.
there's not, and I think it's the social media aspect that's ruining it because
I
you
believe
see
that
it
too.
these days. These women, they'll post their mans on social media. They'll put it out there. Oh, whatever. The throwback Thursday with my boyfriend or husband, whatever, or whatever they use, like these like phrases, to post their boyfriends or National Boyfriend Day or
Man
Husband
Crush
Day.
Monday or
Man
something
Crush
like that.
Monday. There you go. Man Crush Monday. That's the one I was trying to
Hmm.
get. But what's sad is there are men that will still hit them up and they'll entertain it. And it's like you see this woman has a man. You see she's posting. Like, why are you messaging this girl? You know she has a man. But guess what? This girl's these mindsets of them, some of them, it's not that strong. And I thought, oh, but you know what? We'll go out for a drink or we'll meet up
Exactly.
for a
That's
walk.
where
And
the
it just leads up to something else. And it's like, once you're lying to your partner, you already know you're doing something wrong.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the aspect of a little bit of attention from somebody else. When a woman
Yep.
gets it from somebody else, that's it. They feel like their whole world is a lot better on the other side.
Exactly. Yep. And it's true. And like, what's that one movie with Tyler Perry? Is it Tyler Perry movie? The one with
The
that
girl that goes to church.
the girl goes to church and
Yes,
meets that rich guy on
yes, and
that
he
social
gives her
media with Kim.
HIV.
Yes, like that's a crazy example. And you know what's crazy? That was the first movie I watched with that girl. That was the first movie we watched together, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy," But it was like in Spanish. She said it like, how would she say? "Oh my god, esto no pasa." Oh my god, like whatever I just said.
Temptation.
Temptations. There you go. Oh
Temptation.
yeah. So that was the first movie I actually watched together. I remember I was like going to like Amazon movie or whatever, and I was like, "Yo, I like this movie. Let me watch it with her."
You got to watch Acrimony too.
Acrimony. Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And it was like crazy. And that's like basically what she did.
Hmm.
Like whether she's talking to this guy again or not, like whatever. But it's like it's crazy because like this girl had an amazing guy at home, great. He was a pharmacist. And the crazy part is a true story to that movie.
Yeah.
And she ends up screwing herself over at the end. And this guy ends up winning at the end with an amazing family, beautiful wife, kids, because she didn't want to give him kids. And
She got into drugs.
she got into drugs. She
She
got
got into it really
abused by
bad.
this guy, and this guy, and not the funny part, the crazy part was the the husband, which became the ex-husband, still ended up being like a best friend to her,
Yep. He
and
took
that's
care
the
of her.
only way
He's the
he
pharmacist
took
that
care.
gave her her
Yeah.
medication.
Yeah, and that's like, I think people should just like watch that movie and like learn. Like, if you're not happy in a relationship, or if you're in a toxic relationship, just get the fuck out of it. Honestly, get out of
Toxic,
it.
yes, but if you're in an unhappy relationship, I suggest this to people, and I want people to hear me very clearly. If you are in an unhappy relationship, what I say is take some time to refocus on what made you happy in the first place. Communicate with your partner. Tell your partner what it is that's going wrong and how you're feeling,
Mhm.
and then work from there. Don't just feel like, oh,
Amen.
my
Yep, yep,
relationship is
yep, yep.
shitty. Let me jump to somebody else.
And
No,
walk
because
away. Don't walk away.
you end up
Don't walk
ruining
away.
an amazing husband, an amazing father to your children. You know what I'm saying? A provider, somebody that will go above and beyond to make sure you're happy, will work two, even three jobs if they have to, just to make sure that everything is taken care of. This is what you end up ruining
It's
when
true.
you
It's
think you
true.
can't find the happiness in your
And
relationship.
guess what? And guess what? Guess what? Guess what that ends up creating for the man?
Go,
Fuck
shoot.
boys.
I don't know.
Because
I'm not a fuck boy yet.
well, I think, and that majority, like, I just see like a lot of, it comes to a point that guys are like, yo, fuck this shit. Like, I'm just done trying, I'm just going to go do me and go out there. And then
See,
guess
I
what? Now
can never do
it
that.
puts them as that bad title. Oh, look, now he's a fuck boy. It's like, yeah, but you had this guy. You had this guy that was taking care of you. You had this guy that was okay with you staying home and being an amazing stay-at-home mom. But now you want to go and travel the world because Joe Schmo is taking you all over on these private planes and giving you all these things
Hmm.
that this one wasn't giving you. But is that what makes you happy? Like,
It's all temporary happiness.
it's all temporary. It's
They're
all
gonna
temporary.
realize they're gonna realize when the person that they thought they were gonna be happier with ends up being the same person that they ended up losing.
Exactly. And I'm
Because
not I'm
they
not
start
preaching about
realizing.
this. I don't want people to feel bad for me because at the end of the day, whether you feel bad for me or not, I don't care because
Well,
it's
in
my life.
reality, nobody feels bad for you.
In
Like
reality, you're
this is.
right. Yeah, but it's like but from my learning experience from this was just like, don't take bullshit from anyone. And once you see a red
Hmm.
flag, especially when it's like an embarrassment or like these people like are not respecting you, like putting you down, like when you're trying to talk, like express yourselves, like that just shows how much they care about you. Or like when you feel that you're a burden, also like it shouldn't it shouldn't be like that. It should be happiness, especially in the beginning of the relationship, or was she's, it wasn't a relationship with her supposedly all of a sudden. It was a situationship.
Hmm.
Hmm. But like, so like back to like what I was saying though, like compromise, listen to your partners, work with them, sit with them, hang out with
Amen.
them. And those were things I didn't do with that one ex of mine. And I like, honestly, I'll be honest, I'm gonna be real with you right now. And I'll be real with all the fans right now listening. If I would have done that, I promise you right now, I would have been having this podcast with you right now because I'd be home focusing on my wife because we would have been probably married by now, honestly.
I would have been
But
a ring girl or a flower girl.
no, you would have been the one that stops the wedding. When
Oh
they say
yeah, I
like,
could do that.
is anybody out there that is, that whole part.
I'd be
But
like,
I
oh wait, excuse me. Does anybody have the time? Anybody? The time? I lost my watch. And then that's it.
yeah, but it would have been like a Jewish wedding because she was Jewish.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
I would have liked to step on the glass.
La, what is that one time? La, la, la.
Oh, Nala, Navilichala, some shit like that. I can't know. I don't know the song. I don't want to disrespect anybody's culture or nothing. But
but
that's a good song.
yeah. Oh yeah. What about you have the remix?
Yes, I do. The typical version of it.
The typical version. Oh my gosh, we gotta make the bachata one soon.
I'm with it.
We'll tell
I'm so
DJ. We'll
with
tell DJ Adoni to make the mix. Adoni. Oh, I said his name. Damn. Fuck.
Oh. We gotta erase that. Well, he's nationally recognized, so that's okay.
It's okay. Maybe he'll tag me in this now.
Yeah, probably, right?
But yeah, like I said, like this isn't for anyone to feel bad. Be like, oh my god, or like this guy's talking shit, blah blah blah. Like it's just a learning experience, like what I learned from it. And I learned a lot. I focus on myself more now. Not gonna lie, not so long ago, I kind of started talking to someone else, and we got into a little disagreement. And she didn't let me talk, and I was like, oh. I'm out the door. You're not letting me talk. I'm not letting that shit happen again. I'm going to speak my mind. Because guess what? My feelings matter. Everything else matters in these days. That's what we like going out there and protesting for things that matter. My feelings matter. I'm going to speak my way. I'm a
Exactly.
man. I'm a man. And that's the problem. I feel like men are they think they're too macho man to speak their mind. Like, oh, why should I talk
It's
about
not
it?
even that
Yo,
men
I'm
think they're too macho. Hold on, let me cut you on that one, because it's the society that we were brought up in. Remember, as a child, we grew up. Oh, stop crying. You're a man. You boys don't cry. This, and that. We're not allowed to shed emotion. Like somebody the other day told me, so that I was going through something. I posted something about like a pain I was feeling or whatever, and like, yo, you okay? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, why you never speak? Like I'm always checking up on you, seeing how you're doing. And I was like, it's not that I always speak. It's just I'm a man. I'm supposed to keep stuff in. And that's the problem with society today. Some people need to understand that it's okay to let off that burden, that feeling of holding all that resentment, and it's good to have
and
conversations with people.
we have a friend, me and you. I'm not gonna say his name, but he is from the same race as you and her. I'll give you a hint who it is. Hold on. Excuse me. Um, he lives in the island with you, also in Staten Island.
I already know.
Um, okay, yeah. So one day we were sitting down talking, and he kind of knows I was stressed out, and I opened up to him about the situation, and he asked me, he goes, "Is she Americanized Dominican or is she Dominican from the island?" I said, "From the island." He goes, "That's where it's wrong." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because they're raised in the island till men don't whine about things, they don't cry about things, they're macho mans." He goes, "And
Hmm.
now that you're doing that, she's looking at you like you're a little bitch."
Yep,
He
and that is
goes,
true.
and I was like, "Yo, that's true. Like, I get where you're coming from." He said, "Yeah." He goes, "But you already put it that way. So now when you don't act like it, you don't care about her."
Wait,
You
off
know,
topic. Just to shout out the person on the island that lives with me. We love you. Just letting you know,
yes, we love you. And
very much.
he did message me and he told me, "You better have me on an episode." And I will have you on one of my episodes, of course. I love you, and you're one of the realest peoples out there, especially that crew that we have that was at our best friend's wedding. That was one of the best
Good
weddings.
times.
And actually he's gonna be, I think, on like the fourth or fifth episode on
Okay,
this
that's what's up.
podcast.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to hear it.
So we have a couple of minutes left here. Anything you want to say about any like pills you had to swallow or anything?
Um, aside
Um,
from
legally ones.
yeah, yeah, no, no. Oh, okay. We're not talking about the medication. Copy. No, aside from my recent experience with being left at like 4 in the morning on the bed with a blanket in between my legs, um,
I thought it was a
I
blowout
was
though. You told me it was a blowout though.
so nah. So I was brought up in a sense of you know you talk to one person, you date one person, you build with one person, and it's kind of been like I've been single for the last excuse me, for the last 3 years technically. I've tried to date. There is a fact that I did try to date. Actually, this one girl that I really liked, I thought there was potential there. She told me I spent too much time with my son. Red flag, cut off right away. Yes,
Big
I am a
time.
single.
Nobody should ever
I
say
am a
that to
single
anyone.
father. Exactly. I am a single father, and I've wanted this for so long. I wanted a family. Obviously, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out.
Hmm.
Um, I do take a lot of the blame to myself because there
That
was
was
a
a
lot of
lot that
stuff
you went
going on.
through. Cause I
Yeah, I went
remember
through a
you like
lot.
you will call me a lot and be like, "What should I do?" Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And
So
that was a tough point for you. I remember.
yeah, and it's just more of it was because of my son. Like I wanted the family for the longest. I finally got it, and then it's just literally shattering within my
And I remember one
fingertips.
time you called me. Well, no, we were hanging out. We were at your brother's shop. I remember, and you pulled me to the side, and you were like, "I kind of want to work it out with her again, just to have my
Hmm.
family." And I looked at you, and I was like, "No, dude, like, don't do it. Like, it's not worth it." Like at that point, it wasn't because you went through so much with this person.
And then there is a point where I realized like maybe it is the best that we aren't like we didn't work out because of the fact that it would have just been a lie the whole time because so I was in this relationship and she left me at my worst. When I started falling apart
Exactly.
financially,
Exactly.
physically, emotionally, mentally. I started falling
Hmm.
apart,
I
and
remember that.
she
Yeah.
left me. There was a lot going on mentally, and I'm like I said, I'm not the one to speak about my problems. It takes a lot for me to finally open up to people. And she literally picked up and left after a year of us going through whatever we were going through. She picked up and left, and it killed me. It killed me for a good amount of time because I would sit here and fight myself about it, like it's my fault. I could have done better. I could have done this, that. But then in reality, when I sat there and I started thinking about these thoughts, and I'm not gonna lie, I would cry. There would be nights that I would cry because I missed my family.
Nothing wrong with that.
But it was like I realized that she wasn't my person. She wasn't the one that's supposed to balance me out. You know what I'm saying? Because when I fall, your partner's supposed to lift you up. So if I put 50, you put 50, and not even
No, no,
financially.
I'm gonna stop
Hold
you
on,
there
hold on,
right
no, no,
there.
no, hold
No,
on. Let
no,
me
no.
finish my
Listen,
theory before
listen.
you come here. Hold
Okay,
on,
go,
hold on,
go.
hold on.
Remember the
Before you come now.
50-50 part.
Yes.
Remember the 50-50.
So in a sense, what I'm saying is not financially, but emotionally, in an emotional sense. If I put 50% and you pick up the 50%, it's supposed to be technically 100%,
There you go.
right?
That's what I was gonna go to.
All
That's
right,
what I
but
was
yeah,
gonna go to.
but
All
I
right, now
want you
you're
to
speaking.
understand it from my aspect. So what I'm saying is like in a sense of there is only 100%. In the sense that there,
Hmm.
as a couple,
Okay,
you
yeah.
are one. So now
Hmm.
you two make 100%. You're 50, she's 50. If I'm having a 30% day, you
She
having
probably
the
took the 70.
70%. You see
Yep.
what I'm saying? If you're having a 20% day, I got the 80. We're gonna make this 100%.
Hmm.
That's why
Hmm.
I understand where you were coming from the 100% to 100%, but I'm talking about if you are one, together you make one. It's
Hmm.
50
Yeah.
50. You see what
Like
I'm
to me,
saying?
the 100% is because like I see it as like, oh, I'm giving you 50. She's giving her 50. But now, where's my other 50% going? That's why I put it as like,
Yeah, I
okay, now
got
there's
you.
there's another 50% floating around that somebody else could catch that 50%. Like to me, I see it as like if I'm into you, I'm gonna give you my 100%. And that's what I was
Yeah.
doing with this one, and that was on our first
But
date. She
exactly, but
asked
this
me,
isn't a relationship as like in a dating aspect. Yeah, I'm giving you my 100%, you give me 100%. But when you are already committed to this person, now that you're 100% and you're 100% complete each other because you're a couple now.
mm-hmm,
So
yeah,
you are
no,
one.
you're right.
You are officially one. You are
No,
not you
I
Jesus
get
and you
that
are
part,
not,
and
you
I didn't
know?
think about it like that. And that way you're saying it, and
So
it's
that's
it's
what I'm
true.
telling you. It's like when
Yeah.
I fell off, when I felt like I was at my lowest and I needed that pick me up, I needed that support system. Not financially, again, so people understand. It was more of an emotional thing. She would
Hmm.
break me down, emasculate me. She would do all these little things, and I would sit there and I would eat it up, soak it up, take it in.
Well, I remember,
And
yeah, you used to call me about some shit, and I'd be like,
yeah,
dude, and I just don't understand, like, men or women, how can you do that to someone, Like, listen, I've been in relationships, I've dated a lot of women, only women, um,
Skylight.
and
Who said that?
wait,
I
you
need
have
a
another
stop lying
person there?
button.
And yes, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. And yeah, I've had my issues. I have done things that weren't right. But I've learned, like I said, and I've learned, and like at least back to that last relationship that I was with that one person, I learned a lot from that relationship. Because you know what it was too? She was also like she was like a therapist to me also because she worked in that field. So like I
Hmm.
remember I used to go to vent to her for everything, like during the riots, we were together. During COVID, we were together. We had COVID together. Um, and she was there for me. I was there for her, she had a dog also. Her dog was amazing. I love that dog to this day. That dog's still amazing. But I learned a lot from that relationship and from what I learned from it. And I didn't learn from it at the moment, I learned after.
After.
And
And that's
yeah,
when we say like it's too late.
it
People
was too
realize
late.
stuff when it's too late.
It was too late. And I went on and I try now to bring it to my next relationships, the next person that I'm with, and I'm not perfect. They're not. No one's perfect in this world. The only places you're gonna find a perfect relationship is Disney World. That's it. Disney. Go watch the movies, and you know what? They're never perfect because these princesses
Nah,
get their hearts broken.
there's hidden messages in those Disney movies.
Oh, definitely. But I learned a lot, and I tried to push it. And it's crazy because when we broke up, a lot of my friends were like, "You're stupid." They told me, "You're an idiot. You're stupid. You're gonna regret this. You're not gonna be happy." And they were right. I realized later on that I was stupid for not giving her what she wanted. One line my friend would tell me, shout out to him. He lives in Philadelphia. He's
Philly in the
one of my
house.
Philly in the house. I'm sure he's listening to this. And it was a funny line I tell to a lot of people. He's like, your girl just wants to hang out with you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I want to hang out with the boys, blah, blah, blah. And TMI, he'd be like, but are you boys gonna go down on you at the end of the night? And I was like, yo, you're right.
Some of them might, just saying. Wait, what?
And I was like, yo, you're right. And he was like, yeah, but your girl's going to, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, so hang out with the damn girl. Like the girl just wants to hang out with you. And like one of my boys, he was one of my supervisors. He got transferred somewhere else. And he actually a big fan of this podcast. He was like, dude, I'm happy for you about this. You know, you're gonna do great with it. One thing he used to tell me, like, dude, like she's supposed to hang out with you, you know? And one thing was like, to me, I thought it was a controlling thing. Like she was trying to control me because like I would be off and she'd be like, oh, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, I just want to relax. And then next thing I was hanging out with the guys and she'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't you, you could have been with me. And that's what the last person was doing. Like, I'd be like, hey, let's hang out. Oh, I don't want to. But next thing you know, she's going to rooftop with her friends.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like,
So
yo,
you got a
but
taste
like,
of your own medicine, kind of.
I got a taste of my own medicine. That was the pill I had to swallow.
Cha-cha.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that was it for me. I had to swallow the pill, and coping with it in a good way. I'm currently away from everybody right now. I'm right now in Georgia for the military. I'm coming home in about 21, 22 days. I'm freaking excited because I'm in this space that is nothing to do. Like, yeah, I'm posting stuff on Instagram and Snapchat, but that's on the weekend. You guys are not seeing what's going on during the day because this place sucks. It's not like when I was in Texas. Texas is a different place. I love
By the way, I
Texas.
like the costume video of you walking in as a priest,
Oh yeah,
as the Pope.
that's my Halloween costume this weekend. I'm going
Fire.
to Mango's in Orlando. I'm gonna be there this weekend. Alex Sensation's gonna be in the house. Yes, I said his
Ow.
name. Damn again. Wait, it's okay. And it's like 8 or 10 of us going together. And
Sheesh. I'm
I'm
coming
gonna
to
be
Orlando.
yes, I'm gonna be blessing these girls.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, I'm
Yes.
going to. And then Sunday, I'm going to go to church with that on.
They're gonna walk your ass out the
I'm
church.
going to walk in. I'm just going to stand in front of the church and greet everybody.
Take a cup and put some of the holy water, and every time
Yeah.
somebody walks out, just bless them.
I'm going to go to Publix, the supermarket in Florida, and buy like pita bread and make it seem like it's holy bread. And then I'm
You
going to
can't
buy
give bread to
red.
people while they're walking out.
And no, that's when they walk in. When they walk in, I'm going to do
Oh
that. I'm going to greet
man,
everybody. Oh, and you know what? It's a Catholic church. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk around with a bucket so people give me money because the Catholic people are freaking the biggest thieves.
bro, what is wrong with you?
No, I'm not going to do that, people. All right. Or maybe I'll give them bread and wine, red wine.
Nah, I think the easiest thing would just take a little cup of water, and every time somebody walks by, just put the sign of the cross on their head with the water.
No, that's when I should just get ashes.
It's not Ash Wednesday. People are gonna look at you funny.
But I'm the Pope. Call me Papa Vargas.
Papa Vargas.
Papa Vargas.
Like somebody had a sign. Some Spanish woman made a sign. The potato is here.
Oh my God.
It's because you wrote it in English. You wrote the papa.
Oh my God. But yeah, so listen, so to end this podcast, yeah, it was great. We passed our time, way past it. But that's just normal. I mean, you just talk, and I'm
Yeah, we
glad.
can go for hours.
I'm so happy that you were part of my first show. Honestly, this is
Of
like
course,
a
bro.
big
And
thing. I
side
was
note,
like
I am
thinking,
very.
I was like, damn, should I do this solo, my first one, or should I bring something? I was like, let me call Lewis and see. And you're like, hell yeah, yo, put me in that shit. I'm down.
Nah,
Blah, blah, blah.
and
Let's
an
do it right
honest
now.
and honestly, yo, I'm really, really proud of you. I wish you nothing but happiness and success. I know this was like supposed to be a team effort, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because seeing you do what you want to do and what you love to do is making me happy either way. So all of your friends on this side, regardless, wish you nothing but the best. Continue being you, and just make sure you add some little humor into the content. Because I'm telling you, the intro, I was falling in love with you for a second. I was like, "Hello, welcome to Unprescribed." It sounded so sensual. I got a little goosebumps when I heard that. I
It
was like,
sounded like
and I
that. The
left you a
girl,
review too.
remember, did you really?
Yes,
Oh, I
you
gotta
didn't
check that
read it.
out. No, I haven't checked it out. Do you remember the movie The Warriors? When that like radio person comes up,
Oh
tonight the
yeah.
Warriors are heading home, blah blah blah. That's how it probably
Jesus,
sounded.
that movie's so old. I can't remember. I think the last time I saw that was like 12 years ago.
Damn, I just
You
saw that
know,
like
you know,
not
you
so
know
long
what you
ago.
sound like. You know, Pootie Tang. Everybody knows Pootie Tang.
No, I don't know what Pootie Tank is.
What?
No,
Oh my god, you gotta
no,
watch Pootie Tang.
I gotta check it out. Yeah, but back to the podcast. Listen, people, toxic relationships, get out of them. Don't stay in them. Red flags, hurricane flags, whatever you see, get out of them. Um, if you find something wrong, work it. If you can't, get out. One issue I see a lot with toxic relationship is people, oh, we've been together for so long. I don't want to start all over. I don't want to be another family, or I don't want to separate the family. The father's involved. Listen, you got to do what's best for you. And if you have a child, you got to do what's best for your child. Like sometimes being together is not the best thing. Honestly, I get it. I was in a 4 or 5 year relationship. It sucks separating, but you had to do what you got to do and move on and be happy. Find yourselves, be happy, but don't find yourselves and be selfish. Still care for others. You
Yep.
can't be
Be
selfish. Don't
humble.
be humble, because that's what gets you far in life, is when you are humble, and that's what's going to get you successful. Lewis,
Amen.
anything?
Nope. Thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure. And hopefully, I welcome back sometime in the near future.
Yes, you're gonna be back for sure. Next week's
Yes.
episode, next week's episode, it's gonna be about a snitch in the crew. Be ready,
Dun dun
be ready. Can't
dun.
always trust people. It's gonna be about snitch in the crew. All right, everyone, have a good night.
Take care, guys.